Welcome, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back. We are back after a couple of time off, working on different things, and with a bang with the new launch for Apple. So thank you for tuning in. And today's a great day. There's a lot of things happening. So I want to share. I have probably several pages after a long session, but I'm always thinking about why and how to use all these new gadgets are coming out. And it's not just because it's coming out that we need to buy it, but I've been waiting because my previous Mac died and I had to let it go. Um, so there were three releases, actually four releases today. I'm just gonna go very brief over them, but the one that I want to go into deep is the release for the new M1 MacBook Pro. And they have a lot of technical jargon. And I know that I have friends that have asked me, okay, should I wait? Should I buy one of the new ones? So I'm going to break it down and we're going to go directly into the site to go through it. So if you have any questions with it, let me know. So the first thing that got released today was the Apple Music Voice, a new plan for $4.99. So if you like music and you want to get it now, you can ask Apple and Siri will say, hey, I have a playlist for you. The second thing that got released today were the HomePods in color. So those actually were very interesting that you can interact with them, you can talk with them. And then a new set of AirPods. So again, all the beginning of the launch was focused on music and how all the new enhancements with it allow you to go all the way up to 30 hours with the little AirPods, that you can have 6 hours of audio time and then also 30 hours with the charge. But the one that I was waiting, that I've been literally waiting, I'm like, not lying, I'm like, have a ton of notes that I took about it, was the MacBook Pro, the big guy. So let me just show you here. So this guy came out with some interesting and cool features. And the whole idea is that there's a lot of enhancement for creators, for people that are actually creating content. If you're recording videos, if you do live streaming, if you do anything, let's say for a church, you do green screen, you do Zooms with backgrounds, all that, this will be very interesting for you. So the first thing is that they release two separate types of CPUs. And what that means is that now you have more options, but then with more options, Dan Kennedy says that there's confusion. So I want to try to clear the confusion for my non-technical folks. And again, it's not your area. Let me show you here. So Apple have done a lot of work and they have now two CPUs, the M1 and Pro and the M1 Max. So what does that mean? The Pro has some Pro features and the Max have more of the same features. That's the simplest way that I can explain it. But just so you can have an idea, if you're going to be doing probably green screening, you're going to be doing work with video that you're going to record for your course, for anything that you may be doing, let's say live streaming, as a simple just with your camera, I just probably with a webcam or with one camera, probably the M1 Pro will be enough. That big boy has 10 cores. And actually, let me go here. It has a little bit of the details of what it has. And the cool thing is that you can have all the way up to 32 gigs of RAM, and that's a big difference because now it's integrated. Now it's not separated like before. So you have the capability to have a system that will work for your day-to-day stuff, and it will not shut off some of the cores so you can have a better battery life, but it actually can put some work. Let's say if you're just doing Word, Excel, PowerPoint, stuff like that, that doesn't require a lot of power, you will not use a lot of battery or a lot of CPU. But if you're doing some big number crunching, if you're doing a lot of video editing, then it will turn those up to do a lot more work. But if you're doing something that may require more in depth, that you're gonna have, uh, let's say, videos playing, you're gonna have green screen at the same time, you're gonna have Zoom running at the same time, you want to overlay all that, and at the same time, you don't want your computer to sound like it's going to the moon, then the M1 Max, it's the chip for you. And here's the reason. You can have up to 32 cores of GPU. And in simple terms, what it means is that the graphic requirement, we're gonna make your image, what your camera gonna process it, it's gonna have a lot more space. That is almost equivalent to like an NVIDIA 3080 or 3090, like one of the big ones. So I have one of the computers in here that have one of those for a PC. The cool thing is that bring it into a small traveling form factor. And within all the notes that I took, one of the other interesting things is that if you have to process video, let's say you recorded your course, you're gonna save it, you're gonna put the logo or something. It has integrated engines to do all that processing that before that was only available into the big guy machine, like the big Mac machine that was released about like a year and a half ago. That is like almost $10,000 with all those cards. The other big difference is the number of monitors that you can support. So if you have a Mac with an M1 Pro, you can only support two external monitors. If you need to support more than that, you need to go with the M1 Max. But there's some cool things that they have done. Let me try to go down here to the port so you can see that, because that was something that a lot of people have been looking, and is that they have, let me see what it is. Now they brought back the HDMI port. So you don't need a dongle. If you have only one monitor, you can plug it back in. So woohoo! Finally, we brought it back. So you have the capability to plug in, and you're gonna have your Thunderbolts or USB-C ports, so you can connect and charge your Mac. But they brought back the MagSafe. That was the previous connector that it was available in the previous Mac, that you can unplug it and it was magnetic so it can charge. So they bringing that back. And in addition to that, they're having an SD card. So if you're taking photos or pictures, you can then read them directly from the SD card, so you don't have a problem with it. So besides that, then there are some additional details that are the camera. So finally, they brought an full HD camera that you can look good while you're doing your recording without having to buy anything else external. It's a full HD 1080p camera, and it has some great features. So as you can see, it's gonna be built in. It actually have something called noise reduction. That is when you got grainy on your video, and it's gonna help you to then smooth all that with the GPUs. That's why it's very important to pick the right one. So people were asking me if I should get the original Mac Air or the MacBook. I said, wait if you can, because there are gonna be some new things coming out. And this is one of the things that I was waiting for. That is that now I don't need to carry an external camera or have it when I travel or when I'm recording. I can then have everything built in and then work without anything else. So in addition to that, let me see where they have the audio piece. Here it is. The other pet peeve for laptops for a long time is the idea that you need to have an external mic. So like I have a mic right here because the one that I have doesn't have the microphones. Now they have studio quality mics built into the Mac. So built in, you're gonna have 3 studio mics and 6 speakers. They're gonna give you the capability to do really good recording for your videos, for your lives, for anything that you're gonna be doing. And I love the idea that then the battery life. Let me see where they had the battery life. I'm gonna try it, but that's one of the biggest things that I. Where's the battery life? Let me bring it here. While I look for it, there's two models. So here, the 14-inch model has up to 17 hours of playback. The 16 has 21 hours of playback. That is huge. There is a huge amount of battery time that you're going to be able to use it. But in addition to that, it has a feature called fast charge. So you can plug in your laptop, and in 30 minutes, you're going to have 50% of the battery back. And I like that because then when you're on the road, when you're traveling, you can then bring that charge back and you can then go. And imagine if you can bring 10 hours battery in 30 minutes, that's amazing. But the cool thing is that they haven't changed the price. So the 14 is 1999, the 16-inch is 24.99. So you can, if you are waiting like me, you can go today and start your order now, and you can configure your own. And the question that I have is, which one should I pick? And here is one I'm gonna say. Take this out for a moment. Okay, so if you have bad eyes and you need a larger screen, they're about the same, but the 16-inch give you a little bit of a larger room. The capacity inside is the same. You can configure them exactly the same. Uh, the only difference is the size, and that you can get the largest CPU in the 16. You can get the max also on the 14, but there's a version of it that comes with the larger 32 cores already built in. So you can have either or, but I'm leaning into probably for traveling purposes, probably the 14 because it's a little bit smaller. It's about a pound lighter. It's 3.5 pounds. The other one is 4.2 pounds. Uh, but capacity, they're about the same. My friends, I know that a lot of you were waiting for what to do. So if you need to buy your Mac, now is the time. You can go and get it. And if you're doing anything, let's say for a church, if you're doing proper center, you're doing anything like that, and you have been holding on because some of the other ones depend on your configuration, this may be the machine that you may want to go for. It has a built-in, and you can plug in up to 4 external monitors. If that's your configuration, you definitely want to go for the big uh, M1 Max. Let me just show it to you back in here. This one that have the 32 cores of GPU, because that's what's gonna make the images, the monitors, processing all the images built in to be running smoothly. My friends, have been awesome to see you again. We're back, so we'll continue sharing different tips and tricks for your business, for your church, and for your life. So, my friends, we'll see you on our next episode. See you soon.